Life, as we know it, often feels like a puzzle with pieces that just don't fit. We make decisions, set goals, and follow plans, but somehow things rarely unfold the way we expect. It's as if there's an invisible game being played, and we're not even aware of the rules. Rules that govern how success, abundance, and opportunity flow into our lives. The truth is, reality is not a random series of events. It's not simply a string of moments we have no control over. Instead, reality operates like a game, with certain laws and principles that dictate how everything works. But here's the catch. Most of us are playing without knowing the rules. We react to life's challenges instead of responding with intention, and in doing so, we miss out on the power that's available to us. What if you could understand the hidden mechanics of the game? What if you knew exactly how to align your actions, thoughts, and energy to manifest the outcomes you desire? This isn't some wishful thinking. It's a reality that anyone can tap into once they recognize the rules that govern the universe. The moment you begin to understand and work within these principles, you'll realize that life isn't something happening to you, it's something you're creating. In this exploration, we'll dive deep into how reality works, why most of us aren't fully aware of the game we're playing, and how to turn the tables in your favor. The game is already in motion, but are you ready to start playing by the rules? If so, type "I am ready" in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to stay ahead in the game. The hidden forces behind our choices. Our choices, often viewed as products of rational thinking and free will, are actually influenced by hidden forces that stem from our subconscious, fear, societal norms, cognitive biases, and the complex question of determinism versus free will. One of the most powerful forces shaping our decisions is subconscious programming. From a young age, we are exposed to beliefs and patterns of behavior that become ingrained in our minds without our awareness. These beliefs, formed by our caregivers, culture, and society, remain tucked away in the subconscious, influencing the choices we make as adults. We may not realize that the decisions we make in adulthood are often merely a reflection of these early programming patterns. Whether it's the career path we choose, the way we handle relationships, or the way we respond to challenges, subconscious beliefs drive these actions, often overriding our conscious desires or logical reasoning. Another key force behind our choices is fear. Fear, in its many forms, subtly shapes our actions and inactions, often masquerading as logic. We might think that we're making a decision based on practical reasoning or safety concerns, but in many cases, fear is the true motivator. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, or even fear of success can lead us to make choices that feel safe but limit our potential. It convinces us that staying within familiar boundaries is the logical choice, even though it keeps us from stepping into new opportunities. Fear distorts our perception of risk, leading us to avoid necessary challenges and, in doing so, preventing growth. The feeling of safety it offers is an illusion, one that keeps us stuck in patterns of behavior that no longer serve us. Beyond personal fears and subconscious beliefs, our decisions are also heavily influenced by the collective energy around us. Every society, culture, and community has its own set of norms, expectations, and unspoken rules that individuals are expected to follow. These collective energies shape our choices in profound ways, often without us realizing it. We may feel compelled to follow certain paths simply because they are culturally accepted, whether it's pursuing a traditional career, maintaining specific social norms, or even adopting particular ideologies. The pressure to conform to these collective beliefs can be strong, and many times we make choices that align with what is expected of us, rather than what we truly desire. This external influence can be so subtle and ingrained in our thinking that we don't even recognize that our choices are not entirely our own, but rather a reflection of what the collective energy deems acceptable. Cognitive biases are another critical force behind our decision-making. Our minds are wired to take mental shortcuts in order to make quick judgments, but these shortcuts often lead to errors in thinking. Confirmation bias, for example, causes us to seek out information that supports our pre-existing beliefs while disregarding information that contradicts them. This bias not only limits our ability to see things from different perspectives, but also reinforces false beliefs, keeping us trapped in a narrow worldview. Other biases, such as anchoring bias or availability bias, can distort our decision-making process further, making us believe that certain options are more valid or beneficial simply because they are more familiar or readily available to us. These mental shortcuts, while efficient, often prevent us from making the most informed choices, leading to decisions that are more reflective of our biases than of objective reality. Finally, the question of free will versus determinism plays a pivotal role in our understanding of choice. Are we truly free to make our own decisions, or are our choices predetermined by external and internal forces? Some argue that we are bound by the conditioning of our upbringing, societal expectations, and even genetic predispositions, leaving little room for true free will. On the other hand, some believe that despite these influences, we still have the ability to choose differently, to break free from the patterns set before us. The tension between these two ideas, the sense that we are both free and bound, creates a paradox in our decision-making process. We may feel that we have the power to choose, but we are often unaware of the vast array of forces influencing those choices, shaping them in ways we cannot always control. The illusion of time in the game of reality. The concept of time, as we know it, is deeply embedded in our lives. We measure it, plan around it, and allow it to dictate much of our actions. However, time, in its traditional sense, is a construct that limits us, shaping our experiences in ways that often bind us to the past and future, leaving little room for the present moment. The commonly accepted idea of linear time, where past, present, and future unfold in a straight line, defines much of our daily reality. We experience time as something that moves in one direction, constantly pushing us forward, demanding productivity, and compelling us to keep moving without pause. This perception of time feeds into the structure of our lives, creating an endless cycle of expectations, deadlines, and pressure. Linear time, therefore, becomes a force that both motivates and restricts us, dictating the rhythm of our existence. Yet beneath this conventional understanding of time, there exists another perception: time as a cyclical, repeating cycle. Instead of a straight line, cyclical time views existence as a series of interconnected loops, where moments continually repeat, evolve, and transform. This view allows for a more fluid experience of time, where events don't have a strict beginning or end, but are part of an ongoing, ever-expanding cycle. From this perspective, time isn't something to be controlled or limited, but something that naturally flows and returns in different forms. It suggests that instead of moving forward in a linear fashion, we might actually be moving in spirals, constantly revisiting and reinterpreting moments, opportunities, and experiences. This deeper understanding of time can free us from the pressure of linear progress and invite us to embrace the natural rhythms of life. Our belief in time's limitations profoundly affects how we live. We often see time as something that runs out, creating a sense of urgency and scarcity. This perception drives us to prioritize productivity, constantly measuring our worth and success against the ticking clock. It encourages a mindset of running out of time, which can lead to stress, anxiety, and burnout. In this mindset, time is a resource to be maximized, and the pressure to use it wisely often restricts creativity and joy. By viewing time as limited, we place constraints on ourselves, pushing for results rather than experiencing the process. This can stifle the natural flow of ideas, solutions, and innovations that come when we let go of the pressure and embrace a more expansive view of time. Time's limitation becomes a barrier that blocks rather than facilitates growth. The idea of the eternal now challenges this linear perception and invites us to step into a different experience of time altogether. In the eternal now, all moments exist simultaneously. Past, present, and future are not separate, but are instead interconnected, existing as one continuous flow of energy. When we embrace the eternal now, we realize that the future is not something that is coming toward us, nor is the past something we must regret or cling to. Everything happens in the present moment, and all possibilities are always available to us, depending on how we choose to focus our attention. This understanding can deeply impact our decision-making as we shift from thinking in terms of what will happen next to recognizing that all possibilities are here, right now, within our reach. This perception empowers us to make choices from a place of awareness and clarity, rather than fear or uncertainty about the future. Time, as we know it, is not a universal constant, but a societal invention. It is a construct created to help us organize our lives and manage our actions. But it is not an absolute truth. Our current way of measuring time, seconds, minutes, hours, days, has no intrinsic connection to the natural rhythms of the universe. In fact, this structured approach to time can be bent, manipulated, or even ignored altogether. The understanding that time is a construct frees us from the tyranny of the clock. We no longer need to view time as something that governs our existence, but rather as a tool we can use in ways that serve our highest potential. When we begin to see time as malleable, we unlock the possibility of living in a state of greater freedom, where our actions are not bound by rigid structures, but flow naturally with our internal rhythms. Living outside of time is an invitation to experience existence without the pressure of time's constraints. It means fully immersing ourselves in the present moment, where time ceases to be a limiting factor. Practices like mindfulness encourage this experience, where our awareness is not focused on past regrets or future worries, but on the richness of the now. In this state, we break free from the societal expectations of productivity and success. We create space for creativity, for connection, and for a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Living outside time is not about ignoring the practical realities of life, but about shifting our relationship with time, allowing it to become a tool for peace, possibility, and flow, rather than a source of stress and limitation. The game of identity. Who are you really? Identity is one of the most complex and fluid aspects of human experience. The mask we wear in our daily interactions is often far removed from who we truly are. This mask is the persona we project to the world, built from layers of societal expectations, personal experiences, and external validation. It is a construct that we often mistakenly identify as our true self. Over time, we begin to believe that the mask is all there is, that the version of ourselves we show to others is the person we are. This mask can be so deeply ingrained that we forget to question whether it truly represents our authentic being. It becomes a protective shield, crafted from fear and the desire to fit in, yet it keeps us from showing our true essence. Behind this mask, the real self might be hidden away, waiting for the opportunity to be acknowledged and allowed to flourish. At the heart of the issue is the conflict between the ego and the authentic self. The ego is driven by desires, external approval, and the need to be recognized and accepted. It seeks validation from the outside world, often encouraging us to pursue things that are not aligned with our deepest truth. The authentic self, on the other hand, is the quiet inner voice that yearns for authenticity, connection, and self-awareness. It is not concerned with external approval or material success, but instead seeks alignment with our deeper values and a true sense of belonging. The struggle between the ego and the authentic self creates inner tension as the ego pushes us toward external goals, while the authentic self whispers for us to return to our essence. This conflict can lead to confusion, frustration, and a deep sense of disconnection as we try to reconcile these competing forces. Another powerful influence on our sense of self is the social mirror, how others perceive us. From the moment we are born, we are exposed to the perceptions and judgments of others. Family, peers, teachers, and society at large shape our understanding of who we are, often molding us into the image they expect. These perceptions can be so powerful that we begin to internalize them, building our identity based on how others see us. We may adopt labels or characteristics that are not truly our own, but that we believe we must embody in order to gain acceptance or approval. In this way, our identity becomes something that is shaped externally, not from our true inner being. The social mirror reflects an image that can be distorted, and if we are not careful, we may become trapped in this false reflection, never questioning whether it is an accurate representation of our true nature. Identity is not a fixed or static concept. It is fluid and ever-changing. With every new experience, relationship, and life phase, our sense of self evolves. The person we were yesterday may not be the person we are today, and the person we are today will not be the person we will become tomorrow. This shifting nature of identity can be unsettling, especially when we become attached to a specific version of ourselves. We may cling to past identities, trying to hold on to old roles, beliefs, or labels that no longer serve us. But the truth is, identity is a dynamic process, one that evolves with the flow of life. It is through embracing this fluidity that we open ourselves to growth and self-discovery, allowing our true essence to emerge in each new phase of life. Reclaiming our true essence involves shedding the layers of societal labels and external expectations that cloud our perception of who we truly are. It requires stepping away from the identity shaped by others and reconnecting with the core of our being. This process is not about becoming something new, but about rediscovering what has always been within us, beneath the masks we wear. It is about embracing our uniqueness and allowing ourselves to be seen for who we are, not who others expect us to be. The journey to reclaiming our true essence requires courage, self-awareness, and the willingness to let go of the false identities that we have accumulated over the years. By doing so, we can begin to live more authentically, guided by our inner truth, rather than external validation. But then manifestation as a game of energy and frequency. The concept of manifestation can be understood as a game of energy and frequency, where everything in existence operates on specific vibrational frequencies. From the smallest particle to the largest object, all things in the universe are constantly vibrating. This vibration determines the nature of each thing, its qualities, its essence, and its interaction with other energies. Every thought, emotion, and action we produce also emits a specific frequency. Our ability to tune in to the right vibrations is fundamental to manifesting our desires. Just as a radio dial can tune into different stations based on frequency, we too can tune in to frequencies that align with the reality we wish to create. When we understand that our reality is shaped by the energy we emit, we realize that manifestation is not about forcing things into existence, but rather about aligning ourselves with the right energetic state that naturally attracts our desires. Alignment plays a crucial role in the manifestation process. Manifestation occurs when our desires are in harmony with our inner state and the actions we take in the world. It is not enough to simply wish for something. There must be an inner resonance between what we want and who we are. When we are in alignment, our desires move toward us with ease, because the energy we are putting out matches the energy of what we wish to bring into our lives. This alignment is not just about feeling good or having positive thoughts. It is a deep, internal coherence between our beliefs, emotions, and actions. If there is a mismatch between these aspects, if our inner state is not in sync with what we outwardly desire, manifestation becomes more challenging. The energy we emit will either attract what we are aligned with or repel it, depending on this internal harmony. Emotions are a powerful force in the game of manifestation. They serve as attractors, either amplifying or blocking the manifestations we seek. When we feel positive emotions, such as love, joy, or gratitude, we are vibrating at a higher frequency that naturally draws experiences of the same frequency into our lives. On the other hand, negative emotions like fear, anger, or doubt create vibrations that can act as barriers to the flow of our desires. These emotions often carry a lower frequency that repels the things we wish to manifest, creating resistance in the process. Emotional resonance is not just a passive feeling. It is an active force that shapes our reality. Understanding this connection allows us to become more aware of the energy we are putting out into the world and how it influences the manifestations we attract. Belief is another essential aspect of manifestation, acting as a magnetic force that attracts or repels opportunities, experiences, and people. Our deeply held beliefs shape the way we perceive the world and the opportunities that are available to us. If we believe that abundance is scarce, for example, we are more likely to experience situations that confirm this belief. Conversely, if we believe that we are worthy of abundance, we open ourselves to opportunities and experiences that align with that belief. Beliefs act like a magnet, attracting the energy and circumstances that match their frequency. The strength of our belief determines how powerfully it attracts or repels the things we desire. When our beliefs are aligned with our desires, the manifestation process becomes smoother and more natural because the energetic pull between our internal state and the external world is in harmony. Patience is a crucial component in the manifestation process, one that is often overlooked. Manifestation is not an instantaneous event, but a process that unfolds over time. Just as a seed needs time to grow into a plant, the energy we put out needs time to align with external circumstances. The flow of energy must be allowed to move through its natural course, and forcing the process or rushing results can create resistance. Patience allows us to remain aligned with our desires without being consumed by impatience or frustration. It is through patience that we allow the necessary shifts to occur, whether within ourselves or in our environment, to bring our manifestations into reality. Understanding that manifestation is a gradual unfolding rather than an immediate fulfillment allows us to stay grounded and trust the process. By embracing patience, we acknowledge that the energy we are working with is not bound by a strict timeline, but moves according to its own rhythm. Reality as a game of mirrors and reflections. Reality can be understood as a game of mirrors and reflections, where the external world acts as a direct reflection of our inner emotional and mental state, the way we perceive everything around us. Our experiences, the people we interact with, and the circumstances we face is not simply a result of external factors. Rather, it is shaped by how we feel, think, and believe about ourselves and the world. If we are in a state of inner conflict or emotional turmoil, the world may appear chaotic or threatening. On the other hand, when we are at peace internally, our external experiences tend to align with that state of calm. In essence, the way we view reality is a mirror of our own inner world. The perceptions we hold, based on our emotional state and mental framework, color everything we encounter. Thus, our external world is not an objective reality, but a projection of our internal environment. This leads to a deeper understanding of the conflict between perception and reality. Often, there is a stark difference between how we think things are and how they truly are. Our perceptions, shaped by past experiences, beliefs, and emotions, create a lens through which we view the world. This lens distorts our experiences, causing us to see things that may not exist or overlook things that are right before us. We might perceive a situation as a threat when it is actually harmless, or we may interpret a person's actions through a lens of suspicion when they are simply acting out of their own conditioning. This distortion creates a disconnect between the way things are and how we experience them. The more we identify with our perceptions, the further we move away from the true nature of reality. This misalignment can lead to confusion, frustration, and a sense of being lost or misunderstood. Understanding this conflict is crucial because it reveals how our internal state governs the external experiences we attract. One of the most profound reflections we encounter is found in our relationships. The people we interact with are often mirrors of ourselves, reflecting aspects of our own being. These reflections can show us parts of ourselves that we may not be fully aware of, whether it's unresolved emotions, traits we deny, or qualities we fail to acknowledge. For example, someone who triggers feelings of anger or frustration in us might be reflecting something within ourselves that we have not yet dealt with. Our relationships serve as a powerful tool for self-awareness, as they bring into focus the aspects of our own psyche that we may have overlooked or repressed. Instead of viewing others solely as independent beings, it becomes clear that they are mirrors reflecting the unresolved parts of us that need attention. In this way, every person we encounter is a teacher, showing us aspects of ourselves that we must confront and integrate. The concept of shifting the reflection involves altering our internal self to change the external reality we experience. Since our perceptions are a reflection of our inner state, by changing how we think and feel about ourselves, we can shift the way we experience the world. If we want to see more kindness and love in our lives, we must cultivate those qualities within ourselves first. The internal shifts might involve changing negative thought patterns, healing past wounds, or letting go of limiting beliefs. By doing this, we begin to alter the vibrations we send out into the world, and in turn, the reflections we receive in return start to change. This process requires conscious effort and awareness, as it is not about changing the world around us, but transforming the lens through which we see it. By shifting our internal landscape, the external world begins to reflect those changes, and we start to notice different experiences and people entering our lives. A key aspect of reshaping reality lies in the power of self-observation. The more we observe our own thoughts and reactions without judgment, the more we can gain insight into our inner workings. This observation allows us to recognize patterns of thought, emotional responses, and behavioral tendencies that shape our reality. By becoming keen observers of ourselves, we can begin to consciously choose how we respond to different situations, rather than reacting automatically based on past conditioning. Self-observation helps us step out of the habitual, unconscious patterns that keep us locked in a repetitive cycle and empowers us to make intentional changes. Through this practice, we can gradually reshape our perceptions and, by extension, our reality. The rules of quantum possibility. The concept of superposition and the multiverse suggests that all possible outcomes exist simultaneously in a state of potentiality. In this vast, infinite field of possibilities, everything is in a state of flux, waiting for our choice to collapse it into a concrete reality. Just as light exists in multiple states until it is observed, all outcomes exist at once, only to become specific when we make a decision or take an action. In essence, we are constantly navigating through an ever-expanding realm of choices, each holding an infinite number of potential outcomes. The moment we make a choice, we collapse the wave of possibilities into the reality that becomes our experience. This means that at every juncture of life, there is a universe of possibilities available, but it is through our choices and actions that we bring one of them into physical form. The power lies in our ability to shape the flow of possibilities, guided by our will and intent. Every decision we make isn't just about choosing a path. It is about collapsing an entire universe of potential into one specific, lived reality. The observer effect, often associated with quantum principles, reveals a profound truth about our role in shaping reality. Our perception of any situation is not just passive. It actively influences the outcome of what we observe. This principle suggests that the very act of observation alters the state of the observed, making us active participants in the creation of our reality. In simpler terms, how we perceive something changes how it manifests. If we view a situation with fear or expectation, the energy we project through our observation directly affects how that situation will unfold. This idea suggests that we are not merely bystanders in the game of life, but powerful co-creators of it. Our internal state, our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, shapes the reality we experience. And by altering our perception, we can shift the outcome. This understanding gives us immense power to mold our experiences for it shows us that reality isn't fixed. It is malleable, shaped by how we choose to see it. Embracing uncertainty is a key element in unlocking the vast potential of life. Often, the desire for certainty creates limitations, as it pushes us to seek fixed outcomes and predictable results. However, true freedom lies in the willingness to surrender to the unknown. When we let go of the need for certainty, we open ourselves to a world of infinite possibilities. Uncertainty is not something to fear, but something to embrace, as it allows for flexibility, spontaneity, and creativity to flow into our lives. When we are comfortable with uncertainty, we release the tight grip on expectations and allow life to unfold in its natural rhythm. This opens doors to experiences and opportunities that would otherwise be impossible if we remained confined to rigid, predetermined ideas. By accepting that we do not need to know every step in advance, we can live with a sense of freedom and adventure, knowing that the unknown holds countless untapped potentials waiting to be discovered. The collapse of the wave function, in metaphysical terms, describes the moment when a decision or action solidifies a potential outcome. Before a choice is made, there is a field of possibilities, each one existing in an undetermined state. However, once we decide or act, we collapse these possibilities into a single reality. This process is similar to how the act of observation collapses the quantum wave function into one particular outcome. Each time we make a decision, we choose which version of reality we will experience. This is the moment where potential becomes actual and the endless possibilities are narrowed down to the path we walk. Understanding this concept empowers us, for it shows that we have the ability to consciously influence the outcome of our lives by making decisions that align with our desired reality. By becoming aware of how our choices shape the world around us, we can learn to consciously collapse the infinite potentials into a form that aligns with our deepest desires. A quantum leap in consciousness represents a profound shift in awareness, one that can trigger instantaneous changes in our experience of reality. Just as quantum particles can shift from one state to another in an instant, so too can our consciousness. When we expand our awareness, we unlock new dimensions of experience that were previously inaccessible. This leap is not about gradual progress, but about a sudden shift that radically alters the way we perceive and interact with the world. It's a leap beyond the limits of ordinary perception, a moment when the boundaries of the known collapse and new potentials emerge. This quantum leap in consciousness allows us to transcend old patterns and open ourselves to new possibilities, providing the opportunity to shift the very fabric of our reality. Through this shift, the game of reality transforms as we begin to see ourselves not as limited beings, but as expansive creators, capable of shaping the universe with our awareness. The game of energy exchange and reciprocity. Energy exchange plays a significant role in all human interactions. Every conversation, encounter, and connection involves the transfer of energy. This exchange can be positive or negative, depending on the emotional, mental, and physical states of those involved. Relationships, whether personal or professional, function as dynamic exchanges of energy. Each person contributes to the energy of the connection, and this energy flows between individuals, creating an ongoing cycle. When this exchange is balanced, when both parties give and receive in harmony, the relationship remains healthy and nurturing. However, when there is an imbalance, where one person continuously gives or takes without reciprocation, the energy can become depleted, leading to feelings of resentment, fatigue, or dissatisfaction. Maintaining balance in these exchanges is crucial for fostering lasting and fulfilling connections. It's not just about what is given or received on a surface level, but about the energy behind the actions and the emotions that underpin those actions. The law of reciprocity is deeply embedded in the energetic fabric of life. This principle suggests that whatever energy you put out into the world will eventually return to you, often in unexpected ways. It is not always about an immediate or direct return. Instead, it operates within the larger web of connections and interactions. Positive energy that is offered to others, whether through kindness, compassion, or generosity, often finds its way back, even if not in the exact same form or through the same individual. The universe tends to mirror our energy, reflecting back what we send out. This principle, however, also works with negative energy. If someone consistently emits anger or hostility, they may eventually encounter circumstances where that negativity is mirrored back to them. Understanding the power of reciprocity is empowering because it places the responsibility for one's experiences and outcomes squarely in our own hands. What we choose to contribute to the world directly impacts the energy we draw back to ourselves. Protecting your energy is essential in a world where constant exchanges are happening. Every interaction, no matter how small, can affect your energy field. People's moods, intentions, and even their presence can influence your energy. In some cases, you may be in environments or relationships where others unknowingly or intentionally deplete your energy, leaving you feeling drained or out of balance. Protecting your energy involves setting healthy boundaries, both physically and emotionally. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from others, but rather being aware of how different interactions affect your energy levels. Practices such as mindfulness, self-awareness, and self-care help reinforce the strength of your personal energy field. By being conscious of where you direct your energy and how you allow others to interact with it, you can safeguard yourself from unnecessary depletion or manipulation. Energetic alignment with your goals is a powerful concept in the game of energy exchange. When your energy is in sync with your desires and intentions, the flow of energy towards their manifestation becomes more seamless. Energetic alignment means that your internal state, your emotions, thoughts, and beliefs matches the external goals you wish to achieve. This alignment creates a harmonious flow between your desires and the actions required to bring them into reality. When you are energetically aligned with your goals, you are not forcing or struggling to achieve them. Instead, you are moving with the natural flow of the universe. This sense of alignment makes the process of manifestation feel effortless and natural, as if the universe is conspiring to bring about your desires. Conversely, when there is a misalignment, when your inner energy does not match your outer goals, manifestation feels like a struggle, as if something is blocking the flow. Achieving energetic alignment requires introspection and a clear understanding of what you truly desire, without the interference of doubt or limiting beliefs. The flow of abundance is an integral part of understanding energy exchange. Abundance is not just about material wealth. It is about the overall flow of energy in our lives, whether it is the energy of love, creativity, joy, or prosperity. When we allow energy to flow freely, we experience a deep sense of fulfillment and harmony. The natural cycle of giving and receiving is fundamental to this flow. Just as a river needs both an inlet and an outlet to maintain its flow, so too must we give and receive energy in balance. When we participate in this cycle, whether by offering kindness, gratitude, or love, or by receiving it with an open heart, we tap into the abundance that surrounds us. The more freely we engage in this flow, the more we create a sense of abundance in our lives. This doesn't mean expecting something in return for every act of kindness, but rather understanding that the act of giving itself enriches our energy field, creating space for even more abundance to flow in. The flow of abundance is a natural process that can only be experienced when we are open to both giving and receiving, without attachment to specific outcomes. By embracing this cycle, we move in harmony with the rhythm of life itself, breaking the rules to create a new reality. Challenging the status quo is one of the most transformative actions we can take in the game of reality. From a young age, we are taught certain rules, beliefs, and ways of thinking that shape our understanding of the world. These teachings are often reinforced by society, institutions, and culture, creating a set of norms that everyone is expected to follow. However, when we begin to question everything we've been taught, we unlock the potential to see beyond these limits and explore a world of limitless possibilities. By challenging the familiar, we free ourselves from the invisible constraints that define our reality. This questioning doesn't just involve rejecting authority, but developing the ability to see through the illusions of societal structures. It encourages us to think beyond conventional wisdom, creating space for new, groundbreaking ideas that are not restricted by outdated norms. Through this process, we open up to a reality that is much more expansive, where we are not limited by the narrow beliefs that have been instilled in us. The fear of rejection often holds us back from stepping outside the boundaries set by society. When we break away from traditional norms and forge our own path, there is a risk of social disapproval, criticism, or isolation. The fear of rejection can be paralyzing, but it is an essential obstacle to overcome in the quest for true freedom. The key to releasing this fear lies in recognizing that the judgment of others is a reflection of their own limitations and fears, not a measure of our worth or potential. Breaking away from the familiar requires a fearless mindset, an understanding that to create something new, we must first risk being misunderstood or rejected. This fearlessness is not about defiance for the sake of defiance, but about choosing to follow our own inner truth, regardless of how others may perceive our actions. By embracing the possibility of rejection, we free ourselves from the shackles of societal approval and step into a realm where we can authentically create and express ourselves. Self-sovereignty is the cornerstone of breaking free from external control. In a world where authority figures and societal expectations often dictate our choices, true freedom comes when we choose to trust our inner guidance over external influences. Self-sovereignty means taking responsibility for our own lives, rejecting the idea that anyone else has the right to determine our path. It is a conscious decision to step into our own power and follow our inner voice, which knows what is truly aligned with our authentic selves. When we live from this place of self-sovereignty, we are no longer bound by the expectations placed upon us by others. Instead, we create our own reality, free from the control of external forces. This shift from living in compliance with societal rules to living in accordance with our own inner compass is what allows us to transcend limitations and truly experience freedom. In embracing self-sovereignty, we become the architects of our own lives. able to create and manifest according to our deepest truths. Creating new laws of reality involves rewriting the rules that govern our lives. We are not bound to the laws of society or any external authority unless we choose to be. To create a new reality, we must first question the current rules that have been imposed upon us, then rewrite them to fit our unique vision and principles. This process is not about rebellion for the sake of conflict, but about the conscious creation of a reality that aligns with our values, desires, and personal truth. The rules we create are not arbitrary. They reflect the deepest aspects of our being, guiding us toward a life that is in full harmony with our essence. By redefining the laws of reality, we take control of our own experience and create a world where we are no longer at the mercy of pre-existing rules. This act of creation empowers us to shape a reality that reflects our highest potential, free from the limitations of external expectations. Living in full alignment is the ultimate step in the game of reality. When our actions, beliefs, and desires are fully aligned, we experience a profound transformation in the way we interact with the world. Alignment occurs when our internal world, our thoughts, emotions, and values, matches our external actions and the way we present ourselves in the world. This alignment creates a seamless flow of energy where everything we do is a reflection of our deepest truth. It eliminates the internal conflict that often arises when we act out of alignment with our authentic selves, leading to a sense of peace, fulfillment, and clarity. Living in alignment means no longer compromising who we are to fit into societal molds, but instead expressing ourselves fully and authentically. This alignment is what enables us to manifest a reality that is in perfect harmony with our true nature, creating a life that feels meaningful and expansive. Through alignment, we step into the full power of our own potential, and the game of reality becomes one of conscious creation. In this journey through the game of reality, we've explored how unseen forces shape our choices, how time itself is an illusion, and how we can break free from societal rules to create a new, empowered version of ourselves. We've discovered the importance of energy exchange, the power of identity, and the role of perception in shaping our world. By understanding and mastering these principles, we begin to see that we are the architects of our own reality, capable of reshaping our lives according to our true desires. Now, if you like this content, you're beginning to align with the understanding that these ideas can become your reality. By sharing it, you amplify the energy, spreading these insights and making them more tangible in the world. And when you subscribe, you're committing to the ongoing transformation, ensuring that this journey into the game of reality continues to unfold for you. Like, share, and subscribe, and watch as you step into your power and manifest a new reality.